But yes, why Moksh? Of course, we are technology-based company who focuses on high content, test analytics, active learning. All of our classes are live classes. We provide you pre-recording material as well, doubt solving sessions, unlimited validity. We understand that 4 months, 7 months, 9 months, and then again asking for money is not a great thing. Okay, our programs are with unlimited validity so that you could really focus and clear your exams. I understand a lot of them people have challenges parallelly to manage internship or medical college or all other challenges. Those are also taken care of. Those are also taken care of, which is why the unlimited validity. So if you miss one particular subject in the next cycle, the same subject will be repeated. So no problem. So that is why it is actually something which all our students prefer. Right now, this is very important. I got a question. What is the total cost of USMLE process? So the total cost is around $20,000 to $25,000, which includes your step exam fees of about $3,000. To be precise, with the new changes, it is 3,375. Okay. Then your electives and observerships and all those things, $3,000 to $6,000. Living expenditures in America, $2,000 to $3,000. Residency application applying to 100 programs, 150 programs, $5,000. Interview season. Now this year, a lot of people saved this money because interviews happened online. They could save this $5,000. Okay. Travel tickets, $5,000. So total expenditure is around Indian rupees 20 lakhs. Okay. And then of course separately there are USMLE prep, counseling, unpaid research positions which are there, mentoring. Those are different costs. Okay. So that depends on module to module. So you can definitely contact our counselors and they will let you know depending on which programs you want to go. Now this is something very important. Everybody's asking what is the new changes in USMLE and what is the impact on IMGs. Okay, so we will discuss again that in detail. This is something all of you need to understand. The rules of the game have changed. Okay, the new changes have changed the traditional way of selecting students. What was the traditional way? They were focusing on step 1 score. Now the program directors, what is the program director? Nothing but the HOD of the department who takes admissions for the departmental residents. Okay, so what is these? These are 10 factors which are the top factors which a program director looks when he admits the students. Okay, so earlier they were focusing on step 1 marks. Now 100% of them will see whether you pass step 1 in first attempt or not. Letter of recommendation, when you go for US clinical experience, those letters are very important. So clinical rotations have become highly important now. Your college performance, if you have got a good score, it helps. If you've got a highest mark in one of the subject, it helps. If you're in top 20 in your college, it helps. Step 2 CK marks, earlier only 80% program director over it, now this becomes 100%. Your personal statement, so your profile, your grades, if you have any failed attempt, earlier only 70% were bothered, now 100% of them are bothered whether you are failing step 1 or not. What was the class ranking? Commitment to specialty, so you need to prove in your CV why surgery, why psychiatry, why pediatrics. And personal prior knowledge, which means again networking. This is again only and only possible if you go for clinical experience in America or some research positions in America. So rules of the games have changed, interaction with faculty, interpersonal skills, feedback from residents, these are all important, but the weightage has changed. So a lot of students are asking, have things become easy or difficult now? My answer is neither are things easier, neither are things difficult. The weightage of the factors have changed. So you need to also ensure your profile, you are making it accordingly. Okay. In the internship year, Yushita, all the clinical rotation, you should do it only in the internship year. And please understand what rotations are important and of value. Okay, only and only valuable rotations are at this point of time. If you are a student, clinical electives, which you can do it only in the internship or a final year. Okay, so this is valuable. Hands-on rotations are valuable. Observership does not hold that much value. Tele-rotation, to forget it. There are a lot of companies mushrooming and sending so many emails, Facebook, Insta ads. Join us for tele-rotations. No value. This year, people with tele-rotation have got zero interviews. Zero interviews, I'm telling you. So please do not have this herd philosophy. Okay, due to COVID, nothing is available. So at least let me do tele-rotations. Don't do that. Why waste money? The only rotations which are valuable are hands-on clinical electives in American universities or hospitals. For graduates, there are clerkships in few states available, and for students, clinical electives in almost all the states. Those who want to know further, there is a detailed video I have conducted on Moksha Academy. You should watch that. Those who already have their step exam marks and also a visa, because currently in a COVID time, these are two challenging things, and want to go for clerkships, there are very few options available. We can help you, no problem. All right. But please understand, if you give your step 1 exam in the 3rd year, there are certain universities which give you free of cost electives as well. Okay, so those who want to know where I can find the list of free universities, it's very simple. Go to moksh16.com. okay, that's the website, and you will find the entire information about clinical rotations, free electives, each and everything is available there. Go to online coaching, go to USMLE coaching. Now here every information is available. If you want a free trial, click on this link on exams, clinical rotations, residency match is there. Refer to the website. You click on US clinical rotations, you will find which step 1, which are the free rotations. Entire clinical elective procedure is there here. And these are becoming day by day very important, right? So make sure you guys are ready for it. Okay, perfect. Let's move ahead. Now, very important thing is there is too much of information which has been passed on today. So I understand many of you confused, no problem. What to do, where to begin? That's the question in your mind. So the answer is very simple. You can schedule a personalized counseling Zoom call or a Skype session with me. You can contact my counselors and they will let you know when can you schedule it. You can attend the Moksha USMLE live lecture. See how our teach. You can go and attend the USMLE free trial login of the Moksha USMLE online course. You can appear for a step 1 mock test. All the options are available with you. You can decide which one suits you, no problem. All right. And of course, any further support required, these are the numbers and these are the email IDs to connect. Go on this link, clinical electives, and go on this why should you have step 1 score, this link. Here you will find the list of free electives. Okay, I can definitely try sending this to one of you. So I'm sorry I missed this showing this link. Okay, if you go on site, you'll find entire list of hospitals which auditions for free of cost. Okay, perfect. So now what are my opportunities in selecting USMLE branches? Okay, I will show that PG seats. Okay, specialty wise PG seats. Let us quickly see what all and where all people get admission. Okay, which all specialization people get admission. So let us quickly see that. Specialty wise, we will check. Okay, hold on. Please understand, we will be for 2020. Okay, 2020 match data. So those who applied in 2019 and got admission in 20, 21 admission process is on, as we saw in the merit. So you will not be able to know the data at this point of time. Okay. Once the matching happens in March, that's when we will come to know. Okay. Clear? All right. So now, okay, if I got it right, if I do MD radio USA, yes, Malaika, guys, please understand this. You need to still give all your USMLUs and do 4-year match or fellowship program in America. Okay. First, let me answer the question of many students of how many seats for surgery and all those specialization. Okay. So let me quickly answer that and then we will move ahead. There are questions, Kanishka, I will answer all of them, don't worry. But there are more than 200 students, so please, it's not that I don't want to, but continuously, students like Om Prakash were repeating their question 20 times, so I am missing out all other questions also. So guys, please have patience. I will have to read your question and then answer. And I try to answer maximum of your questions, right? So one very common question was, what are my chances for surgery, or how many seats are available in different specialization? This is what we are seeing right now. Okay. This is the official NRMP data. Okay. So NRMP says, so you need to see this column, that is specialty, number of seats. This is green card holders, how many got selected. This is non-green card, you guys, maximum of you, unless you have a green card. And these were the seats when unfilled. So if they don't find eligible candidate, the seats can go unfilled. Okay, neurology is a PG or a super specialty. Neurology is a PG, Malaika, in United States. In India, it's the super specialization. In US, it's a PG. It's a 4-year program. So anesthesiology, if you see 1370 seats, 58 green card holders got admission, 78 non-green card holders. Okay, and 1 seat was vacant. Family medicine, 4662 seats, 781 green card holders, 405 non-green card holders, 349 seats were vacant. So they didn't have desired candidate with a CV, American, green card holder, or even international student. Internal medicine, 8697 seats, 1123 green card holders, and 2116 non-green card holders got. And still 373 seats were vacant. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it's not that in India what happens if the seats are paid, all seats get full because you have to pay the fees. In America, they have to pay salary. So if they don't have the right profile, they will let go the seat vacant. I hope you guys are able to understand that. You require a good profile. Neurology, 682 seats, 56 green card holders, 182 non-green, 17 seats vacant, right? Pathology, 600 seats, 54 green card holders, 232 non-green card holders got admission. So 16 seats vacant. Pediatrics, 2,864 seats, 222 green card, 340 non-green card, and 52 seats were vacant. Psychiatry, 1858 seats, 164 green card holders, 129 non-green card holders got admission. And surgery, okay, total in categorical 1536 seats, preliminary is a 1 year which leads to second year thoracic and all other specialization. So total about 2600 seats, in which 98 plus 82 around 180 people green card holders got admission, 240 non-green card holders, and 596 seats were vacant. Okay, but it is obvious from this map that there are almost 10,000 seats in medicine and 2,600 seats in surgery. So obviously, for every 5 students which you might hear for medicine, you might hear 1 student for surgery. So yes, it is competitive. There's no doubt about that. Okay. I hope you guys are able to understand this. But if somebody says it's impossible or there is a quota system, no, it does not work like that. Aisha is asking what is PGY1. PGY1 is first year of medical school. Okay, and details about various PG programs. I have done session on the Moksha Academy YouTube channel. on what exactly is PGY1R. So because there are so many things, so I recommend all of you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because lots of informations keep on coming here, and as and when I get an update, I immediately create a video and it is uploaded here. So I shall recommend you to go ahead and subscribe and find the information. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate all of you. And yes, any further support required, you can WhatsApp us on this number or email us on this ID, and I'll be helping you.